Hi everyone, it's Linda from LindaZ's in Arlington Heights, and I am here today to show you a couple of things on the Sergers. We had one of the best events that we've ever had in our long history of eventing last weekend with Sandra Swick. She was just amazing. She brought in, I think we had like between 25 and 30 people, so it wasn't a huge crowd, but it was really a great event because it taught all these people how some of them had these Bernina 890s, some of them had an 850 and 860, some of them had other brands like a Baby Lock Triumph. And one of the great things that everybody learned is that not to be afraid of a serger. You can see up here that there's 4 threads here. And sometimes that intimidates people. They think, oh, I'm not going to make clothing. I'm not going to do, this kind of thing. And it's probably something I wouldn't use. You would be amazed at how easy, how quick, and how fast a serger can be when you really start to know it. And I think that's what Sandra really accomplished. And that's why I wanted to share a few things with you today. It's not a long video, but it's just enough, I think, to give you a little taste of what serging is all about. First and foremost, there wasn't anybody that had any issues. That one lady, I guess I shouldn't say anybody, because always in a class you're going to have one or two that do have some. But where is the problem usually? It's between the machine and the chair, right? Moi, almost always. And when you really start to learn what to do with a serger, you don't panic and you really start to feel that, hey, I could do this. This is really kind of fun. I have in front of me a set of napkins. These are actually going to be a gift for someone. And again, I think you could do this, something that would be real quick. This whole entire thing, this is quilted fabric. These are 2 layers of fabric that I put together, a gold side and a brown side. And then you can see how I folded them. If you learn nothing else today, you'll learn how to fold a really fun napkin. You see we're folding them in half this way, and then this way, and then this way. I'll do that again so you can see it's real simple. You take one side, see they're different fabrics. Now you could do the same fabrics, but I took a rolled hem with gold thread right over the edge. So a very simple thing to do. Fold it in half, fold it in half again, and then I'm going to take 2 of the corners and fold them up, and then I'm going to take the 2 bottom corners and fold them up not quite as far, so that you could go up this far or back down this far. You can see them here, they're all folded. And then of course I take them to the Laura Star and I do a real strong pressing. And look at how pretty. I've taken all the colors and all of the shades that are in the quilted fabric. And again, there's kind of a paisley on the back, just straight quilting, very, very simple. The whole entire set you could make in about 4 hours. If you're a beginner, if you're not, I would say 2 hours and you'll be done. And what I love about doing this, especially around the holidays with fall coming, Halloween coming. They're so fun to take some Halloween fabric. Just make yourself 2 napkins, buy 2 cups, put some hot chocolate in it, and take it over to your friend. I mean, it's just a great, great gift, and they will always keep it, especially for those that don't sew. So that's one idea. The second thing, we talked about fall, and I have to have a little candy. I always think of candy, those little corn candies, even though I don't like those. So I put another one in. So normally I'm having my coffee, but today I'm going to have a little candy with you. So hope you've got one at home you can enjoy too. I have a couple of projects that are done on a 4-thread safety stitch. They call it an overlock 4-thread integrated safety stitch. And I don't know if everybody knows what that is. So I thought what I would do is show you up close so you can see this. Those loopers are covering, and that red one, the last one, is giving you that extra safety stitch. So you don't have to remember what this is, but I think sometimes it's just fun to see how these operate. And you can see it on here. Do you see that? It almost looks like 2 rows of straight stitching right here on the right side. And then on the back, it looks like 2 little dots. that are from the thread, because the upper and lower loop are catching those two little threads. So sometimes I think it really helps to see this, because look at how stretchy this is. If I go to pull this, look at how stretchy that. See, it will not pull out. It will not break. And that's why if you have Lycra or elastic or something that's real, real heavy, this is just a great stitch for that. Again, this is new fabric that we just got in. I call it the Rorschach fabric. And this is one of my samples. I always get extra fabric. I was practicing for a cover hem on here, and it turned out really, really good. This is just a practice stitch, so I know how it looks. A cover hem is actually 2 rows of straight stitching on the top, and then it does a zigzag between those 2 rows on the back. And then I practice my buttonholes, and that, of course, isn't done on a serger, but if I'm doing anything that's got a little tube tie, I want to have buttonholes in there so I can pull that strap through. And you can see I put a little mark here, and I put a little keyhole buttonhole, and then I put another one on this side, and then I will take a little tubing like this and pull it through, and it just gives you a real nice look. When I do my straps like this, you see how stretchy they are? I can use a chain stitch on this. A chain stitch is just wonderful because, and again, I'm not going to get into what they all are. Some of you probably know them, but do you see how there's no pulling? When I pull this, it goes right back. It's not ever going to break. Then when you're doing the little buttonholes, you want to have some tearaway on the back, and you want to have some water-soluble topper on the top. And even when you do the practice buttonhole, you see that water-soluble? You definitely want that on there, because this is a stretchy knit, and you don't want it to really move on you. So these two things are really essential when you put a buttonhole together. The other thing I wanted to show you is I did a little top here, which I think is so much fun. Sandra was so inspirational that we all went home and did sewing and did a couple of things. Now, this is a different pattern that I have. It's not a set-in sleeve. It's almost like a bell sleeve. You see, it's a longer sleeve. It drapes down to the elbow. And if I want to do a real quick and easy top, you can see on the bottom here, I hemmed it with it's kind of hard to see it, but this is a cover hem. And the reason why it's hard to see it is because I took the 2 needle threads and put those in brown, because I was doing this from the right side. I can feel where that hem is, and I can make sure that you see how that goes along just perfect. I didn't trim this or anything. It just absolutely came right to the edge of the hem. And then I left the 2 light color threads in the looper threads, because they were going to be on the back, and this is the kind of a light color anyway. But you don't want that to really show through. I did quite a large hem here. Let me see if I can measure. I think it's an 1.25 inches, maybe even 1.5 inches. I don't usually like to do a hem that, but I had made it a little bit too long, so I put it up, and that's why I did a wide cover hem. Narrow cover hem, if I only had my hem about 1 inch, then I would do a narrow cover hem. I just think it looks a little bit more tailored and a little nice. Again, on the sleeves here, this is where I do the stay stitching around, and I just turn them and turn them again. And of course, with pressing is your #1 asset here to make sure that your garments really turn out right. And that's all there is to it. I did that on the neckline too. You could put it facing, and if you did a facing, of course, you would do the edges with, I know I have another little piece of fabric here, like this. You can see this is a 4-thread safety stitch with 1 layer of fabric. And look at how beautiful it is. It just covers. This is very ravelly thread. Again, if I were to do this fabric, this was a practice. I did shorten up the stitch a little bit, because when the fabric has got so much ravels, so many little threads on it, having it a little shorter keeps those threads from raveling. So I hope that gives you a few ideas. I know I'm going to get a question. I know it's going to happen from some of you about what pattern did you use. Most of you know I make my own patterns, but sometimes I do have, and I'll have Teresa put down below the name of the pattern that you could get that's very similar to this. And all you'd have to do is add this to the length of the sleeve. Very easy to make adjustments to your patterns. I would encourage you to do that. Maybe you don't like a round neck. Maybe you want a scoop neck. Maybe you want a V neck. Go ahead and try it. I think it would really be fun for you. And those of you that aren't doing any kind of clothing construction, try and do some repair. I mean, I cannot tell you the amount of people that have said to me, I love my serger, what I'm doing for repair. I just love doing it now. I've even had the kids all bring me their jeans. Well, be careful on that because you'll have a stack of jeans this high for them to hem for you if you tell them that. So I'm always kind of careful on how much I tell them I really want to do it. But I love this serger. It is on sale right now. It's a fabulous price. I can't even mention it because it's so low. Because we had Sandra Swick, I think we have 3 left, and they are the lowest price we've ever had. So that might give you a little bit of an idea that this would be the time to call the store. Ask for Mary or Debbie or Amber, one of the girls that are there. They'll be more than happy to help you. Again, I hope you have a great week. I wanted to inspire you. Go out there and try this. Do you have, how many, I'd love to know, how many of you have a serger that's sitting in your closet at home? A few of you, I know. Bring it out. You'd be surprised at what will happen if you get inspired. You'll figure it out. I know you will. So again, let me know if you've got any new projects that you've done. I love seeing them. And can't wait till next week. We have a couple new surprises for you. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week.